Hello, we are going to do a quick video on sample means and sample proportions. You can use this video to kind of refresh anytime you need to know how to take an average or just basic kind of proportion word problems. But the intention is to get some of us ready to do some statistics. All right, first example. The highway mileage for several cars is shown in the table below. Find the mean. So to compute the average or the mean of this sample, we need the total of the values and the sample size n. And the reason we need that is because the way we compute the average or the mean is to take the total and divide it by the sample size. So our total is going to be adding up all those values: 37 plus 28 plus 22 plus 20 plus 29 plus 26 plus 25. That will give us our total of 187. And next we need to compute the sample size. So just look at your list. How many values are there? There are 7, so that's n, our sample size. And the last step would be division. To compute our sample mean average, it's going to be 187 over 7. So here I'm introducing a fancy notation. We call it X bar, but X bar is going to be a commonly used notation to describe a sample mean in statistics. So I'm just throwing it in now so you get a little bit used to it. Plus, it's so cute. All right, in rounding, the rule is that you should round to one more decimal place than the original data. So since our data was whole numbers, we should go to the tenths or one decimal place. On the homework platform, sometimes it will just tell you round to this many decimal places. So take that instruction over this rule, but if no rule is given or if no direction is given in the homework, just round to one more decimal place than the original data. All right, 26.7, there you have it. Here's another example. Compute the mean for the following data set. So you don't always need to have a story with your data. This is just a list, no context. We're going to do the same thing. We are going to need the total of the values and we need the sample size n because the way that we compute our average is total divided by sample size. So here our total will be 12.1 plus 9.6 plus 2.0 plus 5.7 plus 6.3. So the total is 35.7. Our sample size is just going to be how many values did we add up? And we can see there are 5. So our last step is the division, the total over the sample size. That gives us our sample mean, X bar, 35.7 divided by 5. And if I follow the rule, I get 7.14. And actually, if you put 35.7 divided by 5 in your calculator, you will get exactly 7.14. So there's really no rounding involved. Luck of the draw here. We had our data going to the tenths. We had one decimal place in our data. So when we take our average, our mean, we should have 2 decimal places going to that one more decimal place than the original data. Okay, next we'll do sample proportion. So we'll do a couple of word questions, word problems, everyone's favorite. Ross took a Spanish test and answered 38 out of 14 questions correctly. What percentage of questions did the student answer correctly? So in order to compute the sample proportion, we need the number of correct answers and the total number of questions. That total number of questions will be our sample size n. And the way that we can compute proportion is just the part over the total, or how many questions he got right over the total number of questions n. So we're just taking it from the problem. We don't need to do any computation yet. We're told that he got 38 questions correct. We're told that there are 40 questions on the test. So our job is to divide. Our sample proportion is going to be written as P hat, has a hat on it. P hat. Okay, so it's just going to be questions correct over total questions. 38 divided by 40. So you could put that in your calculator, 38 division symbol 40 equals, and you're going to get P hat equals 0.95. So this will be the decimal representation. The question calls for percentage. So we're going to multiply that by 100 or move the decimal twice to the right. And our percent is 95%. This was a nice problem in that we didn't have to round. All right, and the last example here, in a pet club, 23 members have a dog, 37 members have a cat, 5 members have a hamster, and 10 members have a bird. What percentage of pet club members have a cat or a hamster? Assume that each member has one and only one of the above pets. So the reason we're making the assumption that each member has only one of the pets is if you think back to the Venn diagram days where you had overlap and the total wasn't quite the total and things were tricky. So we're taking that trickiness out of the problem. So you can only have one pet in this pet club. It's very thoughtful. All right, so to compute the sample proportion, we need the number of cats or hamsters. So remember that or really means addition for us. And then we also need the total number of pets, which has just been chilling out on the screen the whole time. Oops. So proportion is part divided by total. Cats or hamsters, we're just going to add cats with hamsters. So there are 37 pet owners that have a cat, and those are totally mutually exclusive with the number of pet owners that have a hamster, which was 5. So 37 with 5 gives us 42. And then the total number of pets, excuse me, that should say total number of pets, is going to be adding up all 4 of those numbers, 23, 37, 5 with 10, and that gives us 75. So now that we have the total number of cats or hamsters and the total number of pets, we're going to do some division. All right. The division should be 42 over 75. That's going to give us our sample proportion. P-hat. We need to convert that first to a decimal. So 42 divided by 75 in your calculator gives you 0.56. There's no rounding on that. So that's the whole of the number, 0.56. And I can convert that to a percentage by multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal to the right twice, 56%. So 56% of pet club members have either a cat or a hamster.